All right, welcome everyone to the Velasquez Vlog Show. Today is April 26th, 2021. It's been a while. Good evening. I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm a little shy today for some reason. Um, I don't know, just it's been a long day. It hasn't been a bad day. It's just been a long day. It is late. It is Monday. Uh, Apologized for doing this so late. I'm not apologizing because I feel bad about it, just because of the time, I'm trying to be polite, not politically correct or anything, just, customs and courtesy, right? But anyways, welcome everyone to the Velasquez Vlog Show for another episode. I think you guys are gonna enjoy this episode. It's gonna speak about a lot of things that we actually all have in common, or at some point we had in common in our lives. Um, First and foremost, I want to thank you all the followers and all the people that are supporting the show, supporting the cause, supporting this project. I want to thank all the peace officers, firefighters, veterans, military, active duty, and reserve, and all the people that are trying to protect our liberty and our Constitution and all our rights as U.S. citizens here in the United States of America. Also, medical staff and professors, and all the people that have these big, important, essential jobs, and even the people that don't feel like they have important jobs. Also, I want to say thank you to you guys. I know I always thank the people that we always kind of acknowledge more often, but I really don't get a chance to acknowledge everyone in general. So this episode is for you guys as well, because we all have gone through something in life, in no matter what we have done in life. So shout out to you guys as well, and thank you for supporting the show. Um, well, happy birthday to all the people that have turned that have had a birthday this week and last week. I know I haven't done any episodes this week. Let's just say that the crypto mining has kept me busy, and of course, work and family and personal responsibilities. And podcasting takes a little bit to plan out and to organize it and stuff. You just don't sit on a mic and in front of a camera and start talking. I mean, I wish it was that easy. I want to make sure I give you guys good content, and I don't want to be all over the place. I want to stay focused on the topic that I want to discuss today, and that's why I take the time I take to make sure I prepare good content for you guys. Shout out to all the friends out there that I haven't seen in a very long time. I think I saw a couple of friends a few friends this past Saturday. They invited me to go see a fight, so thank you for the invite, guys. I appreciate it. The Serranos, congratulations, guys, on the newborn, Kelly Serrano, and his wife. Congratulations, guys, on your baby girl. So I'm glad everything went safe, and that everything went well, and that the baby's okay, and that you guys are okay. So congratulations, guys. Congratulations on your business as well, and congratulations to all the people that have been accomplishing stuff this year and the year before. I know last year was a very rough year for many people, and it's rough now. It's hard to tell which one is rougher, if it's the last one or this one, and not because of the debts and the media and the COVID. It was because of now it's very hard to get work, to find work, and to provide for the family. Economically, the dollar has lost its value, so it's a little challenging. But I'm not gonna be here to talk about the economy or economics or cryptocurrency, which I would love to do. I would love to do that, because you guys know that I've been very involved in the cryptocurrency community. So Miami, right? But today's topic, I'm getting to the topic, so I don't take a lot of time of you guys tonight. I want to talk about failures. The topic is specifies pretty much what's going to be discussed today. The positives of failing in struggle in life, right? Um, I think I think I've been a man that had many challenges in life, that has struggled a lot, and that has failed a lot. I failed in many fields, from academics to labor, to the workforce, to friendships and relationships, and everything that evolves, around that surrounds us as a human beings, right? To have a social um, stability in our society and among our family, right? Yeah, sometimes we have disappointed people, that I think as kids, we begin to get up from maybe failure from the moment we decide to walk. We learn to walk, and we learn to speak, and then we learn to behave, and you know we start taking tests at school and so on, right? And but in society, I feel like the image that the society and the education system has, um I guess, taught us is to be perfect, that there is no margin of error, and that we have to do everything right, and that the failure is not an option. I'll agree halfway on that, and the reason why is because you need failure, in my opinion. I think I learned a lot more from failure than success, and I'm not saying that I haven't enjoyed success. What I'm trying to say is that because I struggle, because I failed in many things, I got better at them. I got better, I mastered them, and I wasn't too cocky about facing new challenges. I always kept my head up, but at the same time, always focused, and I did not underestimate any situation, any struggle. Up to this date, I still don't underestimate anything that life throws at me, and you know. And every time I face new things, um, I failed at first. Um, I remember when, well, the thing is that I think a failure. I think I begin to, I think I remember failing more once I got to the United States, at the age like around 10 or 11, and I mean I was born here, right? But I was raised in another country. I don't know if you guys ever heard of El Salvador. um, but yeah, I grew up there. When I got to the States, I had to learn English, and that was a struggle for me. Um, I had to learn a new language, and I had to take state exams. Can you believe that shit? And first, I didn't know how to speak the language. Second, I definitely didn't know how to read it or write it. So, you know, that was a struggle for me. Um, and I had that pressure that as I was going to another grade, the next level, fourth, fifth, sixth, it got to the point where like there were no more Spanish. It's the TOS during the day. It was called TOS exams, right? That's how old I am. Yeah, and so I had to, level up, dead or alive. There was no, I had no options. And every year, every fucking year, I remember that I had to go to summer school, and the way the system is designed in academics, it's so messed up for like the immigrant community, because um, besides learning a new language, you have to pass those exams to pass to the next grade. And the thing that sucks about it is that it makes you feel stupid. It makes you feel like you ain't worth a damn thing in school. Why are you even trying, right? But the truth is that I was actually pretty smart. But the system made me feel stupid, and it made me feel stupid up to college, believe it or not. And it was because of the way it was structured, right? Of course, there are many factors involved, such as low income family, geographical location of where the school was, and in the community, and of course, ethnicity, and race, and all these factors, right? That involves minorities, and the reason why minorities have lower. I don't want to say that that's an excuse. I hate going into the politics behind whys, right? Because I know people that have gone through worse than probably I have, and that they have succeeded. They are succeeding, and I don't want to be left behind as well. You know, but what I'm trying to say is that because of those times, I was able to push myself more, more, more without realizing that I was already good enough, but I was made less. But I had no idea that I was made less because there was nobody coaching me psychologically and sociologically about what was going on. So me as a kid, I was just thinking, I'm just another dumb motherfucker, that's getting C's and D's and sometimes B's and lucky. Whenever I was lucky, I got A's. But without realizing that it wasn't my fault, that my problem was different. It wasn't my academics. My problem was another one, and that is the problem that I wasn't able to work on. Unfortunately, I was working more on the problem that the school was presenting to me, and not the problem that I was actually going through. Luckily and fortunately, I was able to surpass those challenges going to high school, middle school, elementary school, and I was able to push. I was able to work hard, and I was able to surpass and prove myself among the rest that I deserve to move on to the next level, right? Um, so I think sometimes the struggles help to build character. And I'm gonna give you another instance. Growing up, so many of my friends, many of my peers, many of, people I guess they were just good at finding friends and girlfriends and things like that. And I wasn't very good at it. I struggle a lot growing up, trying to find a girlfriend, trying to get along with people, right? Getting along was fine. I think it was just about everybody else was finding their girlfriend. I was the only one that wasn't doing it. But um, and I was a little shy. I didn't have the confidence. Maybe because I was a skinny little guy. Maybe because I was short. Maybe because I didn't have the experience, or maybe I wasn't taught to do it, right, or whatever, right. I didn't have nobody to coach me in how to do those things, right. But with experience, as I was getting older and getting out of high school, going through high school, going to the military and things like that, I was able to get this experience with different people, different females, and so on and so on. And with every female I learned something different. Uh, and every time I learned something was to mature me to get better for the next one and better for the next one. And I did, of course, there's a lot of things that I learned about myself, either up to this date, especially now that I'm married, I learned things about myself that makes me wonder how I was able to get married, right? And I'm not trying to talk negative about being married or anything, but you learn things about yourself, and then sometimes you wonder how do you do it? How are you so patient? How do you how do you do it to not lose your shit, right? Sometimes it's not always like that. I have my good moments with my family, with my wife, being a father. Being a father is another obstacle. Being a parent, being a good son, being a good brother, being a good friend. Those things are not easy. They're only fairy tales when you see them in the movies. But to be a good person, an example, a good role model for somebody is tough. It's tough because once again I go back to that thing where like society expects us to be perfect. The more we do, the more we succeed, the more we overcome, the more perfection everybody around you expects from you. Sometimes I don't envy these guys that don't have it so well, that struggle to make it out there in life. I envy those guys sometimes because those are the ones that we all underestimate sometimes. We think that they're losers. We think that they're low lives. We think that there will never be anyone in life. But those are the ones that got a lot of room to grow and to become someone or even better than us, in my opinion. And that's because they had many failures, they had many defeats, um, they had many lessons that they have learned. And I think that can be a good motivator to be better in society and to offer more uh, for themselves and for the ones they have disappointed, but it sucks to be the one that you always try to do everything right, that you're trying to be perfect. You've been trying to be perfect in the entire life, and then yeah, you done okay, but then when you fuck up, it's like the end of the world. It's like, what went wrong, yada yada yada. Like you can't fuck up. You gotta lead and yada yada yada. Hey, I'm a leader. And I still fuck up sometimes. And I fuck up in financial. Let's not even go into the financials, because you can fail in financials too. You can fail there. Uh, Many of us have failed there, if not most of us, if not all of us. But the question is, what do you do when you fail? I think that's what that's the character that we create. I think that whenever we fail, we have to decide how we gonna react. We have to decide: are we gonna quit and just forget about it, or we're gonna face the problem, fix it, and then try again and try again. Depends what it is, right? Because there are some things I would not try. Like, for example, if I broke out with a girl or she broke out with me and I wasn't happy with them, most likely I'm not gonna go back to that circumstance. Well, why? I mean, but the thing is, you learn this with experience, right? So some things is good to try again, especially if you know it's for your future. If it's something you really want, that's gonna help you. Um, so there are some things that are worth going back to, but there are some things that no, I think life and destiny and the circumstances did you a favor. So keep that in mind. Not everything we, not everything that doesn't work out for us is meant to be, and we have to be able to know how to see that, how to accept that, because if you don't know how to accept it, many things will happen. You will trip over the same rock over and over again until you finally learn. Like, I'm gonna give you the perfect example, and that's domestic abuse, domestic violence against women. Right? When you have this, it happens a lot in our Hispanic culture, where a woman gets beat up over and over again, and they never learn by the same guy. They never learn. They never learn until they go to the hospital, until they're about to face the grave, or until they face the grave, until they're in the grave, right? Uh, so, um, so that's the example that I want to give. Sometimes we, we have to open our eyes and realize maybe that shit wasn't for me. And I can tell you that, look, uh, some things happen in my life, and sometimes I wonder why, and it's crazy because I'm a victim and I'm guilty of this example. Okay, in 2008, I applied for U of H. Okay, I was denied. I was rejected because my SATs were low as fuck. So I went to HCC. I went to take some remedial classes once again. It was the language barrier. I was feeling like an idiot in academics. It's funny that I was able to graduate school with honors, I guess, but I couldn't fucking pass the SATs. Can you believe that shit? Anyways, moving on. And so yeah, during the time in the process between 12th grade and the first semester of college, I made a lot of attempts to join the military, right? And that was because, um, well, let's just say that money was an issue for me to pay for school. School wasn't free for me, especially if I was working and the financial aid wasn't covering enough. Um, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna join the military. Then there was another challenge to making that decision. It wasn't just the physical aspect of it; it was the mental. It was the academic aspect of it. Like, I had to get a certain, um, what's it called? It's, ASVAB score. Yeah, that's what it was called, and still called that, I'm sure. And I couldn't pass the fucking exam. I couldn't pass the test. I think one of my friends that I was working with at CC's, back in 2006, 2007, 2007, not 2007, it's 2007. She told me she was in JROTC for the Navy, yada yada yada. That she was gonna join. She joined. She graduated. When I before I graduated or after I graduated from high school, I can't really remember. But during that time, she invited me over. Oh, hey, my recruiter this, my recruiter that. Let's go take the test. You seem like a pretty smart guy. Shit, I was smart, but fucking, let's find out, right? I go and take the exam. I failed it once. I failed it twice. Okay, maybe it's not meant for me. So I continue with the idea of going to school. So I went to school, continue to work. I think I was working at Best Buy during that time. And then I guess my mother said something about, hey, have you seen a commercial for the National Guard? I heard they pay for your school and shit. I'm like, oh, really? Let me check that out. They did. But you know what? I wasn't interested in the National Guard. I don't know, something about it that wasn't catching my attention. And these guys invested a lot of money during that time to recruit people. And for some reason, I said, you know what? I don't want that. I don't want that. And then I saw a Marine recruiter with his uniform. Like, you know what? I like that uniform. If I join the military, I think it'll be just because of that uniform for school. And sure, shit. Next thing you know, I went to a recruiter, uh, and then my mom, I guess, had a friend that had a son in the military, and then he linked me up with that recruiter. And then after that, I started the process. Oh, guess what? History repeated itself again. I took the exam twice with this guy and I still couldn't pass it. I was able to pass the physical part of it. I worked out, I ran more. So I was able to prepare for the physical aspect. And as much as I studied, as much as I tried to study for the ASVAB exam, I just couldn't fucking pass it. Um, well, sure thing, I took it one more time. I think it was the fourth time. And I was able to get a score high enough to get it waived. So I didn't even pass the fucking exam, but because I got a GT score, there's an ASVAB score and there's a GT score. Because the GT score was over 90, they were able to waive it. So at the end of the day, well, shit, I made it happen somehow, some way. Um, what matters is that I made it, right? Not how I made it, right? But sometimes it happens. Sometimes it does matter, right? Like in college, everybody's stressful to graduate with honors and not graduate with honors. Some people don't give a fuck. I was one of those, by the way. But long story short, I made it. Okay, so perseverance. I didn't give up. I could have give up at any moment. Once I was accepted into the entry delay. What is it called? Let me see. Uh, wow. Delayed entry program. Yeah, delayed entry program. I was okay. I was set. I was just all I had to do was stay out of trouble. Don't get in trouble with the law. Don't do anything, and then I was able to go to boot camp and do my thing, right? Somewhere. And then going in the boot camp was another thing. Was another challenge. It was more like a psychological and mental challenge because I was one of the. I think I was the shortest one of the entire battalion of India company in that class of the graduated classes. It's crazy. Like I think I was the shortest one. Um, but at least I had double rats. At least I was able to eat twice as much as other people, right? So that helped me gain some weight in the military service. Um, but um, but I didn't give up. And another story that I think the other story was, I think I wanted to be a cop after I got out as a state trooper. Something went wrong. Something, uh, I think I got I think once I deployed from Afghanistan and I got in trouble for when I was drinking and stuff. So I got an NJP for it. And a perfect record, right? Imagine like somebody wants the perfect record. Shit, it happens, right? You make mistakes in life. Shit. Um, I went in the military with the MOS I did not want, and I ended up doing it, But I made the best of it, right? I think because of that MOS, I was able to get deployed. Many Marines weren't able to get deployed, and being a Marine and not being deployed can suck sometimes because you get to do all this training to go to war, to go fight, to get some, and the next thing you know, you can't, you can't. Your unit doesn't deploy. You didn't deploy. You fucked up. You didn't deploy. Anything can go wrong, right? Um, Not to deploy as a marine, but the point is that um, the no, I think no matter how hard you try to make everything perfect, when you get hit with a curveball, I think that I don't want to say it's a wake up call, but I think it's like, hey, as much as it's just life. It's just life. Not everything's gonna be perfect, no matter how perfect you want it, especially relationships and work and so on and so on. We all struggle. We all struggle at anything, and some of us at everything. um, but don't feel bad about that. I think it's a blessing in a way. You don't want everything too easy, right? I mean, we all want it, but it doesn't mean we're gonna get it. But at the end of the day, we just don't realize that the easier it comes, the easier it goes, and then that's where the trouble is. I can imagine for the people that had it all in their lives. Some people probably did good. They protected the privilege and they did great things. But for the most part, I know a lot of people. I hear a lot of people, a lot of stories about people who had it all and they weren't able to do well in life. So everything happens for a reason. I think every struggle pays off uh, for everyone. But anyways, where did I left off? So yeah, I think I wanted to be a peace officer, a police officer, a state trooper, and something went wrong with the process, the physical part. Okay, I was able to do that. I did have knee problems by the time I got out of the military, so running 3 mile was already hard for me. And then had another challenge. I kept because I went back to the reserves. I changed my MOS, my job, my specialty, and then that was another challenge. It was swim call. Oh my god, I can't swim for shit. And I don't know how I passed it, but I had to try like 4 times to pass that fucking thing. And let me tell you, as a reservist, when you go to MOS school, you don't got a lot of chances. I think the unit only pays for you to go. If you don't get picked up, you get sent back, and that's it. Now, I don't know. I've never been in this situation where, like, okay, you don't pass, you get a chance to go back. I was an NCO as well, so it was very difficult for an NCO to be. You see, that's the thing. You always held at a high standard in the military. So I think that was a good thing, in my opinion, because that made me be aware that every fuck up had a price. Is it stressful? Yes. um, Gaining weight in the military kicks you out. That's stressful, so you have to stay in shape, right? Um, I didn't have to worry about that though, but many people had to. Also, what else? Shooting. Oh man, like you have to be able to shoot your rifle at least, so you know, so I had my challenges in the military as well. I can't talk about all of them, but I had some there too. And then after getting out of the military, went to the reserves. Did my thing there. Had swing call, everything else. Of course, we had a lot of exams, a lot of academic exams. Like I'm trying to get away from that shit, and I guess it just more exams, more exams, more exams. Okay, I failed the first one. At the thing I got to get written form or something at my school for failing it. And so shit, I wasn't happy about it. So, I got on my shit and I said, you know what, this is not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. So I busted my ass. I worked hard not to fail the next exam. And then thankfully I didn't have to fail it. Thankfully from that moment I did not fail any exams. So that's good news. I wasn't worried about being the top scorer in the class. I was just trying to fucking pass the MOS school, right? All these kids, they were all smart. All these PFCs and these privates, they were all smart. Lance corporals, um, and even the meatheads, they were actually fucking pretty smart. So the next new generations that were coming after me, they were just smarter generations. Um, uh, but yeah, moving on, and then anyways, once I got done with that, I said, you know what, I want to go to college. I want to finish my degree. I want to finish what I started. So I heard that I could just move to a 4-year college. Um, without finishing my minimum my I guess my core requirements to move to U of H. So somehow, some way, I think there was like a loophole because of the military credits and so on and so on, military background. So I was able to move. Uh, I was able to move to U of H in the year of 2016. That was another struggle. There was not a single semester that I went through that I did not fail a fucking exam. So at least the first exam and the second exam, at least those first ones were the ones that always got me every semester. In some classes, not all classes, but in some classes, it did get me, and but I fought it. I noticed many kids that failed their first exam. They're like, "Oh man, I'm gonna just drop the class and just take it next semester." Unfortunately for me, I didn't have that luxury. I had a time frame. I wanted to graduate as soon as possible, and they were during this time. There were a lot of things going on in my life. I was getting to know someone. I was going through a breakup with an ex fiance. Then I met somebody else, and then we got married, and then I had my kid. I just took custody of my kid maybe 2 years before I started going to school again, and so I had to be there. I got married, like I said, and then I was looking for a house, and all that shit is stressful, for somebody, and then paying the bills, full time work, and then fighting with the VA, trying to get my medical stuff situated, and making sure that the car payments were done, and then so there was a lot of things going on for somebody at their age, right? And then go to school full time, right? Thankfully, the GI Bill did its thing that helped out, and with school and bills and things like that, right? But at the end of the day, this stress was academically, because that was always always been my weakness, is grabbing a book, reading it, and pass the fucking exam. The practical ones, I was pretty good at it. I had to switch my major, so that was more time consuming for me, because I had to take new courses, new classes. Um, I remember I got a D in math, and I got a D in like advanced biological science class, biology class, just because it was a requirement for kinesiology. Like I said, fuck. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna give up on my degree, but if I'm not good at it, it's not quitting. It's just I'm accepting that this is not my field. Like that's like me trying to say I want to be an astronaut. I'm never gonna give up. I know my limits. I think that's one of the things we also have to learn. Like knowing your limits doesn't mean giving up. It just I realized that I have to fight with my strengths and not my weaknesses, and I sharp my weaknesses whenever I need to. But I had so much things going on in my life, and I felt like, and honestly, I wasn't going to school for the same reason these kids were going to school for. But that wasn't an excuse for me not to succeed and not to pursue and not to be the best. I fought to the end, to the very last semester. I fought it. At first, I said, you know what? All I care about is graduated. I don't care about honors. I don't care about high GPA. And there was a time that I dropped my GPA close to a 2.0, and I was getting close to getting kicked out of college. But you know what? I got my shit together. I fixed my weaknesses. I realized that I was just in the wrong classes. STEM classes were not for me. Math classes, they were not for me. So I try to avoid them at all costs. And I changed my degree plan. I went for sociology. Hey, I like sociology. I like that, and I did well. You know, um, so I enjoyed it. A lot of people have a hard time finding jobs with sociology degrees. So guess what? I didn't. Well, I didn't because I didn't do any sociological wise. I think I would have excelled even if I would have found it. But it just I did. I'm doing IT now. I'm doing crypto mining and electronics and computers and shit. Right. So it has to do nothing with what I went to school for, but it's paying the bills. I'm happy with it, and that's what matters. Um, and hell no, I'm not gonna stress about it. Why would I stress about going to school for something I'm not doing now? Is that's like saying that I'm stressed to pay my bills. Like, I'm not stressed because I'm paying my bills. Um, but but I pushed it to the very end, and next thing you know, I graduated with honors. It was something I didn't expect. I got very competitive. Once I got the hang of it, once I built momentum, I said, you know what, I think I can do this. I'm gonna shoot for honors in the last semester and see what happens. Last semester, crazy, crazy. And the thing is that I actually did it. That's like I still can't believe that shit. Um, you know, I said, you know what, let's get a house. I got a house, and that was a very challenging journey. And then the second house was even more challenging. Where I am now. And so all the things I accomplished, or getting into the mining business, that was another challenge. So you see how after every challenge, okay, just to wrap this up, after every challenge I have faced, and I'm sure many of you motherfuckers have faced many challenges, okay, but if you made it, if you could have done better, if you would have kept fighting, how far you would have gotten. And if you never quit it in your life, me and you can, I guess, have these things in common, right? But if you're giving up, you say, you know what, I gave up on everything I tried. Every time there was a challenge, I backed out. You know, then just so I hope that my personal experience can encourage you, can inspire you, can motivate you, because going to the military was something I never expected to do. Graduating from college was something that it was far, far, farther than the stars for me to get it done because of my academic weaknesses. You know, getting a house at such a young age was something that I wasn't thinking about. Paying off my first car before the age of 25, or 26, around there, I think. Um, Getting my first house before the age of 30, getting my second house at the age of 31, 32, 31, 31, 31. Just things that I didn't expect to get. This was not something, I had perfectly planned. It was just an idea. And you know what? I said, I'm gonna work for it. I'm gonna fight for it. If it happens, happens. If not, I know I tried. And thankfully, the effort has um has paid off. You know, um, I said, you know what? This mining business, this crypto mining business, was not easy either to get in. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, if it doesn't. The hardest part was to get in. Now the harder part is to maintain it, and to use the Ethereum wisely, not to sell it when it's cheap, sell it when it's high, and yada yada yada. Right. So those are the challenges now. Uh, s- uh, Consistency, sustainability with the family, with the newborn, that I have, my 6-month old daughter, being patient for my wife, being patient for my daughters, um, be consistent with my responsibility, financial responsibilities and family responsibilities, and as a man, and responsible for my errors. I want to be bad too. I want to make mistakes. I have to make mistakes. I need to make mistakes in order for me to get better at those things, right? Now, I'm not saying it here because I want to create chaos in the world or anything, but I'm telling you, I like to be bad sometimes, but that's because it keeps me awake, it keeps me alive. And I'm not ashamed of it. I can't, being good sucks sometimes, but I'm responsible with it though. I'm responsible with breaking the rules sometimes. But that's what keeps me intriguing. That's what keeps me, engaged with the world. I can't be trapped inside the house all day. I gotta go out there and cause trouble. I go to the gym, um, that new challenges creates problems. That's a good thing, because I noticed that the more problems I had, even though I don't want problems, I hate problems. I feel that when a problem is approached to me or given to me, I feel like it's another test, it's another challenge, it's another struggle, and it's another opportunity to fight. And I want to win. I want to win every time. Am I always going to win? No. Sometimes I have to lose. Sometimes I will lose, but that's to learn a lesson. And it happens, um, for fighting VA claims, things like that. Oh, that's the next challenge right there. Trying to get to a certain percentage, that's my next challenge. So I have to fight these guys with everything I have. Attorneys don't do anything, so I'm not gonna use them fuckers. But other than that, I have to keep fighting because everything I have earned is because I fought, not because it was given, not because um, I was sit waiting for somebody to bring it for me or to make it easy for me. I had to go and fight for it. I had to go and work for it. I had to go and seize it. There was this time that I was with this girl one time, and let me tell you, she noticed my insecurity, and from that day, I will never forget these words. She said, "You need to grab the life by its horns. You need to grab the bull by the horns." And ever since then, I've been a risk taker. I've been Okay, it changed my life when I heard those words from a woman because she was brave enough to tell me something that nobody had ever told me. So all the women that I have met, all the women that I've been with, all the women that have had the honor, that had the pleasure to meet me, is because of her. Um, and I'm grateful for those words. I didn't, at that moment, I didn't know what to think of it. Maybe I'm like, damn, maybe I am a pussy. Maybe, but it wasn't that. It was just I learned that nice guys finish last. So being a nice guy has its flaws. And let me tell you, the flaws of loss to be the gentleman, to be the guy that society has taught you to be, would degrade what you got to offer. So let me tell you, sometimes being bad is not bad. All right. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You take the risk, you grow a pair, and you make things happen, even if they don't happen. And that's all I can say about failures, and you know what? Even though I wish sometimes some things would have went perfectly, I'm glad they didn't, because if everything I faced would have went perfectly, I would not be as strong, as wise, and as built as I am now. Um, Gaining weight for me is a struggle. So I fight every day. I eat every day a certain way. I preserve certain calories. I intake certain calories. I work hard a certain way. So everything, my life is like a clock. My head is like a clock. My mindset, I'm always thinking of doing something, perfecting something, fighting someone. Well, not fighting someone, but always trying to see what's next. What am I gonna conquer next? Who's next? What's next? Because that's what keeps me going. That's what's gonna make me jump to the next level. I can't be satisfied. As I guess as a man, from my perspective as a man, I feel like I always have to fight because I don't have the resources necessary to lay back and sit down and let shit happen. I have to look. This is just between me and you guys, and maybe some other people already know this shit too. But I want to be a millionaire by the time I get to 40 years old. If I fail, it was not because I did not try, but that is my goal. Just like I made the goal to get my Tesla truck at any cost, at every sacrifice. Right now, I'm driving a 2004 Avalon. That is not even mine, but it's gonna be mine if nobody buys it. But what I'm saying is like I'm sacrificing everything, and most of everything, of course, strategically, financially, strategically. But I could drive a nice ass car right now if I wanted to, but I'm sacrificing that privilege. I'm sacrificing that opportunity for a bigger, for actually what I want to do. Would there be a plan B for some reason I don't end up getting a Tesla truck? Maybe, but I don't want to execute plan B. I want plan A. Plan A is what I want, and I'm gonna pursue it, and I'm gonna see what happens. Um, what was the other thing? And yeah, I want to be a millionaire by the time I get to 40. So those are big challenges, by the way. I come from a family from nothing. They have nothing. Okay. And low income, low education, um, zero, well, little background on businesses. Let me tell you, it's hard because because my mother's a hard worker and she has struggled a lot. She's a hard worker. She's really smart. She's a hard worker. Uh, but and she's smart. She just hasn't she's just been struggling financially. She's been struggling with businesses, and that's part of the education. That's part of the experience. That's part of the of not coming from a from my from a high income experience, high level experience, business experience, family oriented family, right? Oriented family. So what I'm saying is that, but she a fighter. She's a fighter. She has never given up. She's still fighting for her business right now. She's still fighting not to quit on it. Um, and with all her medical issues that she has, she's still fighting to get it up and running, to not sell it, to not go bankrupt. So she's doing everything she can, and I think I got the fighter part from her. Shout out to my mom, by the way, if she's listening to this. I love you very much, mother, and thank you for showing that side. Even I know you're not perfect. I know you may, and I know you made mistakes along the way. But let me tell you, your fighting character is one of the reasons why maybe I haven't given up. Uh, and that's a good quality I can say from you. You're a fighter. You don't quit. You haven't quit. You're still fighting. And I will always remember that. And I will always tell my granddaughters about you, about how you were. I will try to tell them less about your defeats, but I will tell them about your defeats and the reason why, but not because you didn't try, because you tried everything and you're trying everything. But let me tell you, that is better than not trying at all. So congratulations that you made it this far. And because you made it this far, I have made it this far. So moving on. Um, so yeah, you don't give up. Don't quit. When things get tough, try again. If you quit, make sure you have enough life and enough breath to try again. Whether it's relationships, work, financials, as long as you have air to breathe, as long as you're breathing, as long as you can move, as long as you can open your eyes, you can move your hands and feet, yeah, you can do it. um don't ever quit at anything you do, and don't compare your life to someone else's, because when you do that, let me tell you, it gets harder. Your challenge is already hard as it is. What you're about to face is already hard as it is. Don't compare your life to someone else's, because then you're not focused on you anymore. You focusing on passing that person. Focus on you. Focus on your objectives, motherfuckers. Be yourself while you're at it. Don't pretend to be somebody else in the process. Yeah, sure, sometimes you gotta look good for someone. Sometimes you have to be nice to someone. But at the end of the day, don't lose yourself. Be yourself. Because when people know the real you, you have the real people around you. So the people that don't like how you are and who you are, and they go away, let them go. They're not for you. The people that understand you, that accept you for who you are, and and don't be a failure forever. You know, like you know what this topic is about. Just because I talked about failures today doesn't make it okay to be a failure your entire fucking life. Okay. What I'm saying is use these failures as motivation to be better, to get out of failure, to succeed. Don't be too comfortable. If you're too comfortable, you're missing something. If you're too comfortable in life, if you're not fighting, if there's nothing objective in your head as a man or a woman, we're losing time. We're losing youth. But if you want to be comfortable, you say, you know, I accomplished my goal. It's okay. You work for it. You deserve time off. You deserve to be in peace. You deserve to retire at 30 or 40. You work hard. You earned it. Um, but you know exactly what I'm trying to say here. Um, be brave. Courage is gonna help. And most importantly, don't be afraid to lose. It's okay if you lose. Just get up and try again until you win. Try again. What's worth trying again? Don't try to fix something you cannot fix. Don't try to change something you cannot change. Um, only change what deserves your attention and the right to be changed or to be pursued. Um, and if you ask yourself, when would I know? Only you will know when the time is right, when the time comes. Some things ain't worth your time. They're not gonna be worth your time. And during this process, you're gonna learn about your weaknesses and your strengths. And when you learn about those, you will know to use your strengths to where you want to get and not your weaknesses. So you can sharpen your weaknesses, because sometimes we have to sharpen certain weaknesses to get what we need to get or to get done what we have to get done. But at the end of the day, don't try to force something if you're not going to be happy with it. You have to be happy with it. And you're not going to be happy in the struggle. You're not going to be happy when you fail. But when you succeed and you get there, and brings that feeling of satisfaction, of that you conquer something, that you accomplish something, then that means it was meant to be. Um, don't try to please the whole world. Make sure you can please yourself first. Make sure you love yourself doing it before you try to please somebody. I understand when you're married, you're doing it for your family. That's another story, but you know what I'm talking about. If they make you happy, then you'll be happy, right? So if you're doing it for their happiness, then you know that's gonna make you happy. Then you know it's worth it, right? Anyways, guys, I hope that this podcast was helpful. I hope some of you can get something positive out of this. I'm still looking for a co-host. I'm still looking for somebody for my next season. This season was mostly just on my own, but I want to bring someone into the show for the next season. I might take June off. Um, I think May probably is gonna be the last month to do podcasts for season one. I will be deleting my social media personal pages really soon, so you only will have access to the YouTube channel. Kill me, kill me, and so YouTube channel will be the only media source I will have to show you guys my podcast, present my podcasts. So please subscribe. Um, Closing social media for personal reasons, but the personal reason has to do with succeeding in new ideas, focusing on the show. I want to focus on the show. I want to focus on the mind. I want to focus on my family. So just like I did it when I went to college, I closed social media when I was going to college, and I think that was one of the reasons why I did well. It was less distracting. Also, we all know that social media is not always positive. So, um, as it can help, it can also damage, right? Yeah, it's all about mental and psychological, but it's also a distraction for me. So, it has to go. Facebook has to go. Instagram has to go. Um, I might open a Twitter account. We'll see. We'll see in the future. But for now, just YouTube for now. If you guys want my phone number, if you guys want my email, you can message me on Facebook on my personal page, um, or on the link below. I think I do have my see here, like my Facebook link there as well, in my Instagram, I believe. So if you guys want to shoot me a message, and you guys want my information, you guys can by all means go ahead and Just write me, okay? Um, Other than that, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with everything that's been going on and this last year with the podcast, and it's just amazing. It's amazing how everything started from just an idea, and look at it now. And even though I have my shy moments up to this day, no regrets. Uh, Balls to the wall. Yes, I got fear of public speaking, but you know what? I think I got a little better from when I started. So I got more confident with it, um, and I was able to make my production a little bit more professional. And it's amazing how far you can get when you really put your mind to something. And it's always been like that. I think I have built the momentum necessary to do great things and to be here for you guys. Because without any of those things, I will not be able to be here. Um, surround yourself with positive people. When you have new ideas, make sure that the people that will support it are around you, because you'll have haters. You'll have haters everywhere you go and in everything you do. Sometimes you'll come from family. Sometimes it's the quiet ones that don't want you to succeed. At least the loud ones are telling you straight up. But just remember that you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself. And that anything that you do is to make you happy, not to make them happy. Let them be miserable. You know, if you have a strong, good heart, your actions will show. You don't have to be perfect to have a good heart. You can make mistakes along the way. That's okay. Other than that, you guys have a good evening. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week for another podcast. If not next week, we'll see. This week, so we'll see. Take care, guys.